Is the age of the big motorcycle over? Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. Hope you're enjoying the channel and the series of videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the big motorcycles. Will they be accepted in the future years? So here's an interesting thing from my point of view. I always try to look at market trends, and I also try to look at where markets are going, where trends are going in the future. And you've only got to look at the next generation and what they're really interested in and what really drives their enthusiasm. And maybe big engine, big physically sized motorcycles aren't really what they're looking for anymore. Now, who knows? I mean, this is only supposition, of course, but will a big engine that produces lots of power, can go 200 miles an hour, let's say, can sound like a thundercloud or a volcano erupting as it rides by, whatever, is that really the kind of thing that will appeal to the liberati out there, to those who are, more environmentally conscious? I mean, who knows? But what has happened in the last year or two is that there has been a definite swing from the big size motorcycles down towards smaller displacement and maybe smaller physical size. Because let's face it, smaller in most cases is just more practical. We don't have to go all the way really small, but I'm talking about smaller size, a little bit smaller. You can get all the benefits of a big bike, but actually a little bit smaller, easier to handle, easier to ride, less wear and tear, let's say, and should be more fuel efficient. And here's the thing really about fuel efficiency, about efficiency in general. That's what possibly is going to be the key factor going forward. Not only about whether they're going to pollute the earth, but also about how much money they're going to have to spend on running these vehicles, these motorcycles. Will they still go for petrol driven, or will they go for electric bikes, that kind of thing? How much money will they have? And what kind of physical bike are they looking? Now, if you look at different markets around the world actually sell particular types of motorcycles for that market, for the spending power of the people who live within those markets. So if you look at the Far East, let's say, the predominant motorcycles in those markets are small displacement engines, from motors, from scooters, let's say up to 350, 500 cc's, that kind of thing. Anything bigger than that is just too big, too expensive, and people are just not going to ride them, not in any great numbers, I should say. However, as you move out towards the west, let's say, that's where you're getting into the big motorcycles, the big Harley Davidsons, big Indians, the big open roads, and those with more spending power will tend to buy bigger motorcycles. However, let's see if the markets change in the future. Will there be an appetite for people to actually go and buy these big motorcycles? I'm not so sure that the children of tomorrow will actually be that interested in motorcycles, full stop, but also whether they'll be really interested in the big statement on the road, the big expression, the big presence. I think they're actually going to be looking at something that's a lot more functional, a lot more cute, a lot more cool, rather than something that's big. We had it in the, let's say, the 50s and 60s, actually really cool motorcycles, and the 70s, really cool motorcycles that were actually physically quite smaller. Then all of a sudden we start to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now all of a sudden actually starting to see, well, we've got to the top of that hill, that mountain of the big bikes. Now maybe we want to come back down again. And maybe that's what's going to happen. Will big motorcycles be a thing in the future? I'm not so sure. Certainly not in the numbers. I think they'll always be around, but not in the numbers that they have been in recent years. I think it's going to go down. I think we're looking at smaller engines, smaller functional bikes, smaller, more economical, more efficient motorcycles. That's actually going to get people on the move a lot more. And personally, I think that's the way to go. Definitely, if you're looking to get people moving again, just like what happened in Europe after World War II. Yes, I know, this is a history lesson. They started producing scooters, mopeds, that kind of thing. as a cheap form of transport just to get people moving again. And this is kind of the way it's going to be as well, to get people moving around in more congested streets for cheaper prices. Actually, you're either going to look at bicycles or you're going to look at small displacement motorcycles. They're actually going to get you further and more conveniently than a bicycle as well. But let us know. I mean, I could be wrong. This is all supposition as well. Let's know your thoughts about this. Is the big bike here to stay, or actually is it going to go down and down and down to smaller bikes? Personally, I actually like small bikes. I think they're really cool, and some of the best bikes I've ever owned have been really small bikes. I've got a big bike now, let's say, but yeah, I wouldn't be ashamed or embarrassed to be riding a small bike at all. I actually really like them. In fact, one of my favourite bikes of all time was a Honda Cub, a Honda C90. That step-through bike from Honda, it's actually still one of my favourite bikes now, even to this day. And they sold millions of those motorcycles all over the world. So, you know, the numbers can't be wrong, can they? Anyway, let us know what you think. But big bikes here to stay? I'm not so sure. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. And I'll catch you again on another video coming very soon. Ta-da.